Yo, we are. What's going on, Sky Squad? We back in the building. I couldn't tell if we were live or not. When y'all come into the room, give us a shout out. Let us know where you're watching from while we let everybody get into the room. We got a couple of things to talk about today. We're going to be talking about Nene Leakes making her grand return to Bravo and how Bravo is celebrating that with her. I'm going to give you my take on what I think is happening with Nene and Bravo at this point in time. And I think it's a good sign, but we'll have to wait and see how things pan out because I do think that there is something happening within the Bravo landscape that we do need to discuss. So I can't wait to get your opinions about that. We're also going to be talking about the cast for the Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip and what I really think about it, and I want to know what you guys think about it as well. I think, again, there's a pattern that's emerging that I find a little bit concerning. And we're going to talk about why I think it's a little concerning. And we're going to talk about why it is that I believe that Bravo is just refusing to give the people what they really, really want. So we're going to get into all of that and more. We're going to talk a little bit about the marketing aspect of Housewives as well. So stand by for that. In the chat, y'all, I'm going to put the chat on the screen. I can't see our comments just yet. Hey, what's going on, my people? My people are in the building. Thank you for tuning in, tapping in. We are going to be doing our live after Sunday brunch and live podcast show on Sunday, January 25th. Y'all, this is at the Bethesda Theater. We got the WPGC 95.5 will be in the building with us, broadcasting live. So you don't want to miss that. We are going to be spilling some tea. We're going to be talking about life, and we're going to be having some conversations with the Love and Marriage DC's own Jamie and Arena Tyler, as well as Sherelle and Alfred Duncan, who will be reuniting on stage for the very first time since the show aired. So I think that should be very, very interesting. Me and Monique Samuels will be hosting, and we're going to do some amazing things. Also, to y'all, getting my merch table ready. We will have books at the event. I just got the banner situated for behind our table, behind our booth, where we will be definitely having books and more. Okay, so you do not want to miss this opportunity. I cannot wait to give each and every one of y'all a hug and thank you for supporting the channel and everything that we got going on over here. Now, with all that being said, I want to stage dive right on into the Biz Naive. Nene Leakes and this big announcement that was made yesterday. All right. I had already done 2 videos yesterday. Then I had meetings back to back to back to back. So I was like, I'm not going to go live. You know, we're gonna hold this for tomorrow because I also wanted to kind of wait and see what else came out as a result of this announcement. And plus, I wanted to wait until Andy's announcement for the full cast for the Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip. This is going to be interesting. Okay. And yes, we're going to talk about when this is going to come out because Andy did discuss it and he gave some tea, but he didn't give all the tea. Okay. So let's get into a little bit of what Nene Leakes had to say. Now, I want you to notice something here. This post was done in collaboration with Nene Leakes and Bravo. So I just want to say first off that that is a really good sign because this will be Nene's first time being featured on the network channel in some time. Typically, she had been left out of things that reference past seasons of Atlanta for these past couple of years. So I think that again, the door is open, and Nene will let you know that it is as a result of several housewives keeping her name in the stratosphere or in the orbit of the Bravo landscape. Truly Original, NBC Universal, Peacock, all of that. And that's going to be Phaedra Parks, and that's also going to be Portia Williams. But let's also listen to what she had to say and let's break some of this down. Let's break it down.
Hey, you guys. Okay. It's your girl, Nene Leaks. Okay, so where do I start?
Okay, so I gotta address an elefante in the room real quick. I'm gonna address the elefante in the room. Um, there is a Nene has a nice little filter on her that I kind of wish she would just take off. Like the filter, you could tell it's a filter because it doesn't quite necessarily mesh with her face and her hair. So as you really dissect it, you can really see it. And she looks good already. So I don't even think she needed this extra glam filter. But you know, it to each his own. Filters are made to be used, and it's part of the Instagram and social media landscape. So I can't fault her for using it, but in my opinion, she doesn't need it. She's already apparently like got on, got a beat face on. She already is a gorgeous woman. I just don't think she needs this filter because I think it distracts from the emotion of the moment. But let's go. Let's proceed.
This has been a really long journey. And gosh, I'm happy, overjoyed to say
She's taking her time, probably trying to control the emotions, maybe. I want to note that the caption reads, confirmed the tastiest peach is back. And then it says, yes, tears, y'all, tears.
that I will be returning to Bravo. I almost can't even believe the words that are coming out of my mouth. I'm so happy. I'm just so happy. First, I have to thank a lot of people here. I want to thank Francis Burke, Andy Cohen.
Andy and Nene back together? Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Now, you will notice in the chat that Andy has basically commented and says, couldn't celebrate 20 years without you. Celebrating 20 years of Housewives, y'all. Dang, can y'all believe it's been 20 years? Oh my God. Where did time go? How did we all get so seasoned so fast?
So many executives behind the scenes who have worked to make this happen. So many people that have continued to throw my name in the ring over and over again. Thank you to everybody over at Bravo. Thank you to all the people over at Truly Original. Thank you to Shed Media. Thank you to the producers on the ground who are calling and texting me and wanting this to be an amazing thing. I'm so happy to do it. I'm so happy to do it for you guys. Thank you, Darren Ward, for talking me through everything when we talked a few weeks ago and cried on the phone. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Also, really quickly, and if you're wondering why I'm pausing in between, because I do need to do some talking in between just to make sure that the content is different for the YouTube guidelines. Okay, because I don't know where else this video may dwell. So I want to make sure that this is commentary based. I want you to know that she has actually already filmed a welcome back scene. She did another live, which is featured on No Chaser _TV that you can see. And I'll place that link in the description if I don't pull it up in just a second. But she's already filmed a welcome back scene, welcome to Atlanta scene, or welcome back scene in general. But she cannot tell us with whom she has filmed it with. So Nene is already hard at work well, or at least working on this series.
Thank you. Oh my goodness. I have to thank some of the housewives that I know that have continuously um, kept my name, being said behind the scenes. Portia Williams.
Mm. Notice that Portia has commented, I can't wait. The door is open. 20 years of Housewives is now complete. Let's celebrate.
Yeah, thank you so much. You know how I feel about you. You're my little sister. Thank you. I appreciate everything. Phaedra Parks. Thank you so much, Phaedra, for keeping my name going. And all of you guys and all of you ladies who constantly say my name and keep my name out in the ring, I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you so much. I'm really grateful for it. I'm just doggone excited to do this. I'm excited to see all of you girls. It,
So she's officially back. She is officially back. Now, this question is related to, I'm assuming, Portia. So there was something that occurred with Portia and Nene doing, was it the Upshaws? I cannot recall. It was one of the shows on Netflix. And something happened where Portia ended up bowing out and not being and not doing the show. And I think Cynthia Bailey ended up taking her place. Yeah, it was the Upshaws. So I'm assuming that whatever happened, I believe Portia addressed this on her YouTube channel, but I cannot recall the exact explanation that she gave. Whatever it whatever that explanation was, behind the scenes, they must have been able to really figure out what is going on with that situation, and they probably have moved past it at this point. So I would assume that, it the friendship outweighed whatever issue that was at the time, especially if Portia has been speaking her name, you know, in the in the realm of the Bravo universe. I would imagine that, if for me, if I'm like getting my gig back, and you could clearly tell that Nene would have preferred to continue working with Bravo, at least in recent years, because I see some of your comments about, well, what about what happened with them? What about when she was, you know, alleging abuse and that sort of thing? Since we know that that situation has since, in some way, shape, or form, settled, my assumption would be that they have re-engaged with each other because I think there's an understanding of what's best for the networks, right? So what's best for the network, what's best for everyone involved and the shows involved, because she's such a huge part of the Housewives landscape that you cannot escape her, right? And I also think that there is, when life happens to you, I can't say this for certain, but I can say that when life happens to you or life happens for you, that oftentimes many of us, there is a level of humility that we encounter at that point, you know? And with that level of humility, I believe comes an understanding that some of the things that may have plagued us in the past, whether that be ego, whether that be, grudges, whatever those things may be, your needs in the present moment may outweigh all of that from the past, in addition to the fact that time could be a healer of the wounds that have long since maybe healed or at least been surgically dealt with. I'm using a metaphor for that for those of you guys that didn't quite catch that. So, yes, Nene will be returning to the Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip, and she will not be a full-time cast member. We will talk about the full-time cast in just 1 second. It's important to note why I think this is happening, and I think it's because, personally, I believe that it's one step at a time, right? I think that it is a situation where everyone is testing the waters. Everyone is testing the waters and taking things one small step at a time. This is my belief. I believe that they want to know that Nene will be easy to work with. That's just that's my take on this. There's tea that I've heard, but I'm going to give you what I think business-wise. Because the last time they worked together, what ended up happening was towards Nene's run ending on Housewives of Atlanta, you guys may recall that there were at times various points where she seemed to be disengaged from what was happening. And especially that one reunion where Portia was pregnant and she was sitting next to Andy and she wasn't really giving much in the reunion. And so we'd heard about the reduced number of episodes. And it sounded at the time like there was a desire to phase her out from the sounds of it. So as a result, I think what we're seeing now is we saw the lawsuit happen. We saw her, go buck wild on Wendy and Andy. We saw all the details about the lawsuit. And so now, fast forward 5-6 years later, what we're also seeing is, okay, let's open the door. Right. And the snatching of the cameraman, we remember that. I think they're saying, let's open the door a tiny bit. You can dip your toe back in, but we want to make sure that you remain unproblematic. And if you do, I think a similar thing you see happen with Vicky Gunvalson. I don't know that Vicky Gunvalson became problematic as much as I felt like they were trying to age down with the demo, with the cast. And I personally believe that there may have been some ego with Vicky Gunvalson. I don't know, right? But I'm just making an assumption. But these things, at least we know we saw with Nene. We saw these things with Nene. We may not have seen those things with Vicky. So I cannot for certain say that. But what I am saying is for certain that it sounds like they want to establish some boundaries first. If you do this well, then let's open the door to the next thing. Whatever that next thing is, we don't know, because we do know that the opportunity was there to do Traders. She couldn't do that. But now that this other opportunity has come around, let's see where we are. Let's see where we are. So that's the reason why I think we are seeing her in the capacity of the Atlanta OG and not necessarily the full cast. So before we get into anything else, I want to get into the full cast and then we'll come back to Nene. So stand by your man. All right. Stand by. So let's look at the full cast and let's analyze that. And the full cast was revealed on Watch What Happens Live, along with Portia and the young lady from Southern Charm. I cannot recall her name. I think her name might be Benita, but I could be wrong. My apologies to the young lady. So let's take a look at this cast and let's analyze. And let me tell you exactly what I'm thinking is happening with this. When I saw this cast, I'm gonna give you guys my honest opinion. I was really not that excited. I really wasn't. And I'm gonna tell you why. It reminds me so much of the first season of Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip, where you had, you know, Luann was there, Teresa was there, Kyle was there. And I just could honestly do without more Kyle Richards at this point. Mostly because I feel like Kyle Richards has gotten to a point in her Housewives career where she doesn't really feel as though she has to share the real details of her life. And to be quite frank with you, after 3 years of trying to really understand what is going on, whether was she with Morgan, was she not? We, the fans, or at least me, I am bored and over it at this point. I do not, I could care less personally. I could care less. I absolutely could care less. Quiet as it's kept. So she, at this point, because I feel like she doesn't really want to share what's really happening in current life, I just feel like, no, girl. Okay, let's give you a pause for a little bit and let you figure out when you want to start sharing again, and then we'll bring you back. I wondered where the Miami representation was as well. You know, if you were gonna bring in Teresa, you could have brought in Alexia. They are kind of very reminiscent to, like, they remind me, they so much remind me of each other. I just think that they probably would have bonded well, and we would have. I'm sure they're already friends, but I just, where is, or a Larsa would be interesting. Larsa would be very interesting because Larsa can shake the table. Larsa didn't mind shaking the table when she was on Traders, and I need people on there that, I mean, I don't know if she vibe well with all the rest of the ladies, but Larsa was on season 1 of Real Housewives of Miami, and I just feel like the only reason I could see that maybe potentially they would not cast Larsa is because they may be filming right now. I think that I think Miami is gearing up to film if they're not already filming. So I'm not sure. And given, well, actually, yeah, you're right. Key stay splashing. I think that with Alexia and her husband and their shenanigans, I don't know what is going to happen with her at this point. I did enjoy Leah Black on Miami. To be honest with you, I did. Yeah, Leah Black. I feel like, but I'm gonna tell you why I feel like they're not gonna bring Leah Black back after I go through this list. So Kyle does not inspire me to feel excited about this. Teresa is so much better in conflict that I'm kind of unsure of really what she's going to give. Teresa to me, yeah, I think Teresa thrives better in conflict. Um I don't my fear is she's going to fade to the background with this group. I think that Melissa would have been a better choice because I think that Melissa is a people person. I feel like she can mesh well with the group, but Melissa doesn't really, she's not messy or anything. She's not that messy to me, but her husband is. Anyway, Luann is a fine choice for me. I'm fine with Luann because I do feel like Luann is liked by the network. One of the reasons why I feel like Luann works is because Luann is still working. All right. Luann is still out there in the wild doing her shows. You know, she stays at the forefront of people's minds because she's constantly touring. I think that Luann is probably also someone who is easy to work with. So that's why they keep bringing her back. You know, they had her back for the dating show, they had her back for Ultimate Girls Trip. I just think that the network is in love with the business of Luann. I think that the same thing goes for Giselle. I think that Giselle is easy to work with. I think she is going to deliver what they need. And I think she will work mostly with this group because of her friendship with Portia. So I would expect for Giselle and Portia to give Frick and Frack energy, just like they did on their season of Ultimate Girls Trip. And to be quite fair, after watching Portia on The Traders, I think that Portia does better with someone who she can play off of as well. Yeah, because we didn't there wasn't a lot to see with Portia on Traders, but I think that maybe because she was gone too soon, we didn't get that much from her, except for that moment with Candace when they had their confrontation about Michael Rappaport. I mean, that was good. So I think that Giselle and Portia will provide the frickin' frack energy. And I personally also think that Giselle thrives also with a buddy, right? On Potomac, she had Robin. Now she has Ashley. And so there's something about Giselle and a BFF that I just think works well for her. I'm not sure how she does solo outside of, I mean, we haven't seen it yet. So I think that they like that duo together because they know that they're gonna make some type of fun out of this. I fear for Lisa Barlow because I will be interested to see how Lisa fares with other women who do big things. You know, Lisa lives a complete different life from the rest of those Salt Lake City girls. Okay. She does big things. And Lisa is funny to me. She is absolutely hilarious to me. And she also really sticks to her New York City guns, right? She gives a New York City energy. You can't overtalk her. You're not gonna I mean, she can go. So that is gonna be they threw an interesting curveball in there with Lisa because I think it's gonna test whether or not she's really secure with this group of ladies. I would also have loved Dorinda in this mix because Dorinda is a very much a wild card here. Okay. Dorinda, I would have preferred Dorinda over. I get what they did. They wanted one from each city, but if I had my choice, it might have been Dorinda over Luann. Out of Salt Lake City, I feel like they are heavily reliant on Heather and Lisa kind of being the faces of that show, and Mary is up there. So I just feel like I think Mary shines right now because she is more trusting of these women. I would be interested to see how Mary does with a group of women she does not know, but I'm also interested to see how Lisa is with a group of women she does not know. Dorinda is quiet on Traders because Dorinda don't want to get sent home for again. That I'm gonna tell you that is the reason why Dorinda is quiet on Traders. Dorinda ain't trying to make no smoke because last time she came on, she made smoke and she got to get on real quick, real quick. So that's why you see Dorinda is real quiet right now. She real quiet. She not trying to say nothing. All right. And then Vicky, is, I think that Vicky has a bit of an ego, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I just mean that in a she likes to be in charge of the girls type of way. So this will be very interesting to see how these ladies right here mesh. I will be interested to see who gravitates to whom, but we know Portia and Giselle will already gravitate to each other because they already have been working together quite a bit and they have a great relationship. So I don't know. I mean, like I said, the cast doesn't necessarily inspire that much excitement from me, but I am interested. I will be watching and I could be pleasantly surprised. But they do all have egos. They do all have egos. But I would have added Larsa. I would have added Larsa. And you know what? It'll also be exciting to see how true these ladies are to their actual personalities. When we did the Ultimate Girls Trip the first season, it was funny to me to see who shined and who did not shine, and who I thought the people that I thought would be one way on the show ended up not necessarily being the most standouts on the Ultimate Girls Trip. So to me, on Ultimate Girls Trip, Teresa kind of faded to the back. If it wasn't for Melissa, there would not have been a lot for her to do. But it was because of Melissa's, or it could have been vice versa, right? Because of that dynamic, it gave them more to do. Just my opinion. Okay. So now, let's get into what I think is happening with this. All right. And I think this is why I feel like, well, let me give you a clue as to what's happening with New York, and I'm going to tell you something. So, Jenna Lyons, who many of you guys may not know, and this is important, so stick around. We're gonna bring this full circle. Jenna Lyons was from the recast, rebooted version of the Real Housewives of New York, which has run for 2 seasons, and they're now slated to start filming. Well, that's that. Okay. Um, so I'm assuming it's SC Brina, so maybe Sabrina. Said Kempire said Miami is not filming. Well, then at this point, then Larsa could be there, right? All right, let's talk about it, Rebecca. Let's talk about it. Jenna Lyons said this when she was being interviewed about why she chose not to come back to the Real Housewives of New York City. She said that she did not really identify that much with the group the first season because she's in a much different stage of life. She's a little bit more seasoned than the rest of the ladies who are on the show. And, she was talking about her kids, being like older and those ladies' kids being much younger. And it just being that she felt like she couldn't relate. Now, she did a little bit more the second season, but what she felt like was happening was this new group that they're bringing in, the new ladies, she says they're much younger and totally different than she is. All right, so that tells me when you also look at the cast for the Real Housewives of Rhode Island, most of those girls look like they're in their 30s. They almost kind of give a Mormon wives type vibe with how young they feel. So they could be like late 30s, mid 30s, late 30s, 40s. And I just think that as we've all, I think, kind of agreed, Housewives, in my opinion, always feel better when the anchors and the base of the show, the women are a little bit more seasoned than your 30-year-olds, your um early 40-year-olds. I mean, you kind of want some women that have lived some life, experienced some things, because their viewpoints and their ability to shine is oftentimes better to me and more authentic than some of these younger people that kind of come in, and they're very much from the Instagram, TikTok, and social media generation, where they feel to care a lot more about their image than they do what's actually important for reality TV, which is authenticity. And because of that, the shows then oftentimes feel stilted and very much like we're watching a curated Instagram feed, and much less like we're seeing, these women and their families interact in a way that feels natural and is just naturally funny. The reason why we fell in love with the Osbournes back in the day, right? The reason why we love being Bobby Brown back in the day, the reasons why I mean, and the thing about those shows were that we were just watching them in real time. And there was not this desire to put on or to make things happen as much as there was, we're showcasing our lives and we don't get along, and we don't always see eye to eye, and we do fuss and fight and argue, and that's just the case. Every once in a while you look up and you find a show like Salt Lake City where the delusion is on high, right? And there is some knowledge that they have images, but they do set aside those images for the most part to make television, to let us see something. So I just think that the reason why you see these ladies here on Ultimate Girls Trip, especially these OGs and even people who have maybe sort of moved on, is because this is Bravo's way of capturing the nostalgia element of the moment. Everybody loves nostalgia right now. We love to look back at a time when things seemed fun, when life felt free, when life felt like it was just, carefree. We love looking back on those moments because reality right now, in terms of real life, when you look on the outside, when you look at the world, it seems like, woo, how did we get here? So, yes, it is so much more fun to relive these classic moments. And these ladies, this group of ladies, these OGs are bound to give us that. Period. I absolutely agree. We bought into an over reliance of high volume conflict. This was too performative. Contrived drama kills a lot. And that's what is happening. And so when you take things back to New York, there was a thing where we were all hoping that they would say, okay, they're keeping Aaron, Jessel, and what's the girl name? I don't know her name. Anyway, they're keeping those three, and that they were going to bring in like a Luann, a Carol Radziwill, and a Dorinda. To me, that would have been the ideal mix, because now you're mixing, the OGs with the new, and we still have that nostalgia factor, but we're also getting to see some newer faces that we've come to kind of enjoy. That is how you balance out the mix of a show that has been a classic in the Housewives franchise. But to reboot it completely, just know, if you're gonna just end it and start another show someplace else. If you're gonna end that, just replace it with something else and let's keep pushing. But to be Psy, that was her name, Psy. So Psy, Aaron, Jessel, Dorinda, Carol, Luann, and maybe you could throw in some random person. But if y'all gonna just bring assault us all with influencers, I just don't care. I just don't want to see it. It's just not giving what it needs to be what needs to be given. It just doesn't. So again, that's why I feel like you see this cast here. But let's take things back to Nene. Stand by, because we got more that we want to talk about. All right, so here is where Nene, you know, talks about how she's already been filming. Let me give you a taste of that.
I don't know if I can say this or not. I mean, when does filming start? I've already, to just give you like an inside something. I hope they don't kill me and pull my wig off. I've already filmed one little scene, but the rest of the scenes were happening later this month, and I can't tell you the date, but later this month.
Okay, so in this, oh, I don't know if you guys could hear it. My bad. Let me redo that. Hold on, guys. My apologies for that. I thought it was on the screen, and I don't know if you guys could hear it. Give me 1 second. All right, so now I think I have it on the screen.
I don't know if I can say this or not. I mean, when does filming start? I've already, to just give you like an inside something. I hope they don't kill me and pull my wig off. I've already filmed one little scene, but the rest of the scenes were happening later this month, and I can't tell you the date, but later this month.
All right. So in this clip, she also lets us know that she has been in contact with Kim Zolciak. She also lets us know that she's, I think, been out to dinner with Kim and her guy, and her guy, it was like a double date type situation. And she also lets it be known that these girls who might have had their contracts sitting on the table, now that they know that she is back in the mix, they're about to sign their contracts. So she feels like she's got the girls ready to come on and sign their contract. Come on and get this. Come on and sign their contracts. Y'all better sign them contracts. Well, what else you got to do? What else you got to do? I mean, when you think about it, this type of show is like, I mean, it might not be like see a full season salary, but I'm sure that it's better to do this appearance on this show in your city and get a little confessional here or there and get back in the mix than sitting around and waiting for your next paycheck. Now I don't know how many of the ladies are working, what they're doing. I'm sure they are probably all well off, whatever the case may be. But what else is a little, I mean, money talks. Money talks. Okay? Money talks. So let's get into what Andy said about when this is actually occurring, because I did promise you guys that we would talk about that. So let me pull it up. Stand by, stand by. I'm gonna play it for y'all.
kept my name.
Surprised to see listen, I don't know if it's true. You can confirm maybe, but I saw that Nene is returning.
She's gonna be making an appearance.
That is so surprising to me.
She's going to be when we go to Atlanta.
Wow.
She's gonna be there.
You know who's going to be real happy about that?
Who?
The Queens.
Just Real Housewives ultimate road trip.
When you say
girls,
okay, so road trip, they're going from town to town.
They're going from town to town. It prints a group of about 7 or 8 gals is going to be going from town to town.
In what?
And then just not of your concern.
Well, and then it's a road trip.
No,
are they taking a rickshaw?
Just more will be revealed.
Not a rickshaw.
There will be, in total, I think you may wind up by the end of the series seeing 60 of your housewives' friends, something like that. Something like that. So there's going to be a lot. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be so good. I'm really excited about this. The more all of the meetings we've had about it, I mean, we are just so excited for those of us who've produced this show for so long.
Yeah.
We're going back
Big
to
deal.
the very beginning.
Good.
Yes. So,
But he fails to say that when exactly, because he was pressed about when it's going to air, and it's looking like spring, summer, September joggers. And that's what I estimated. I feel like it's going to take it's probably not going to be till the fall that we see this, because if you got to film like 60 housewives, you got to coordinate schedules, you got to do this, that, and the third, then to be honest with you, that's going to take a little bit of time and energy and effort and coordination. Now, I'm sure these ladies are going to be willing to do it. I mean, especially to be a part of it. If Nene's going to be a part of it, then yeah. Now, notice that he did not say what they were going to be on the road in. Now, I feel like if you want to make this real good, you put them in a Winnebago or some type of tour bus, some type of over-the-top tour bus where they got to be on the road like Candy, like Nene, and like Kim, back in the day. Put them, I mean, if you want to make it a road trip, make it a road trip. But I think that's why they didn't put road trip in the title, and it's still Ultimate Girls Trip, because they know that these ladies are going to be too fabulous to be running around in a van. That's what I think. The best scenes do happen on the Sprinter. I mean, that's if you want to make the most chaotic TV ever, right? If I want to make the most chaos, baby, I'm putting y'all in the Winnebago. I'm putting y'all on the tour bus. I don't know what y'all gonna do about your glam. I don't know what you're gonna do about your glam. But what I would also do is I would probably not have them sleep in the van, in the bus or the Winnebago. I would get them hotel rooms or something to that degree. But then again, too, I just don't even know if it's going to be feasible for them to really put them in a van and go from city to city. Because you think about it, you've got to go from New York to New Jersey, which is fine. So we might have a little van ride there. Then you can go from New Jersey down to Potomac, DC, right? You could do that drive in a Winnebago, in a tour bus. You could go from DC to Atlanta. You could do that. And then you could do that as a drive. That would be like a nice little 8-hour drive. Me neither. He may have. I might have just missed that. Then you could technically go from Atlanta to Miami. You could technically make that drive. You could technically make that drive. But you would have to fly them from Miami to Salt Lake City. You would have to. You would have to fly them from Miami to Salt Lake City, and most likely you would have to fly them from Salt Lake City to Beverly Hills, and then you could do a Sprinter, a tour bus, or tour van, or something like that down from Beverly Hills to Orange County, and it would be interesting to end it on Orange County because that is where it all first started. I mean, that's one way to do it. You start in New York because, the offices, I would assume everything like that is in New York. Then you head on over to New Jersey, down to DC, Potomac, down to Atlanta, down to Miami, fly to Salt Lake City, fly to Beverly Hills, van it on down to Orange County. That's what I would do. And then on the time, I mean, because yeah, some of those some of those tour bus rides would just be like 5 hours, 8 hours. So that wouldn't be too bad, really. And then you put them on first class business from Miami to Salt Lake, and then put them on first class business from Salt Lake to Beverly Hills, and then that's how you could do it. And of course, you get them hotels as they are in each place, right? I mean, that's what I would do if I were trying to coordinate this. And we got to wrap this thing up in like a week and a half, 2 weeks at the most. We got to wrap it up because what'll happen is then you risk schedules coming into play, and there being scheduling issues. You got to do that, and the third, and whatnot, whoop de whoop and whoop de whoa, and we don't want to have to do all that. We got to say we can't break the bank. We got to save some budget, and we got to make folks show that these ladies are making a show while they at it. Road trips are indeed chaotic for me as well. Yeah, like a nice little mix of modes. Yep. Oh, I forgot about Rhode Island. Mm. Oh. Oh. How we gonna do that? Now I got to start all over. We'll throw Rhode Island in there after New York. Maybe, yeah, yeah. We'll maybe go to. Maybe we'll start in Rhode Island to get to know the new girls. I don't even know when that show is coming on. We saw the trailer for it, but I don't think we had a date. I don't even think they're gonna do Dubai, to be honest with you. I think if your city was canceled, they're gonna be like, you didn't exist. Now now that would be hot if they did Dubai, but I somehow doubt we'll see that. I like Dubai, but I just don't know that they're gonna do it. I don't know. I don't know. So y'all, we're gonna have to figure that one out some kind of way. Some kind of way. You'll take Dubai before New Jersey. They need an unhinged housewife or ex-wives road trip. Um, Who are some ex-wives that we would choose? Ex-wives, I think, could be. I'm always a fan of Dorinda. I'm always a fan of. I think Kim Richards is wild. I think Lisa Wu is kind of unhinged. I'm trying to think of some other unhinged people. Who else was unhinged? Marlo, Kim D, and Kim G from New Jersey. They weren't necessarily housewives, but they definitely gave us unhinged energy. Brandy Glanville, but you can't really do much with her right now. Lisa Rinna is unhinged, but she gives good TV. Who else was unhinged that we liked? There was the girl that ate the bowl on Heather Dubrow's birthday cake. Carolyn Brooks and Leanne from Dallas. Yeah. Yeah. hmm You know what? I thought about Giovanna too. I thought about Giovanna, although I think Giovanna was just misunderstood. I think she was misunderstood, but that could also be a good thing. Fun fact: Monica has me blocked for some reason, and I don't know why. Yeah, I'm blocked. Oh wait, maybe I'm not. Okay, I'm not blocked. I had to have been blocked because I was following her, so maybe she unblocked me. I could have swore in like October I was blocked, and now I'm unblocked. Maybe I was never blocked. I don't really know. Maybe I just couldn't find her. Maybe Instagram was doing a little weird thing. I don't really know. I didn't really think Eileen was unhinged, but I did like Eileen. If we're talking about unhinged, not not whoever can piss Kyle off. I mean, oh, Denise Richards. Okay, so I got it for you. Okay. This is who I would choose. This is very easy. Denise Richards, Camille Grammer. Easy. Um Leanne from Dallas. We could throw in a little Monica. Lisa Wu, Marlo, Aviva. Yeah. Okay, okay. Yeah, Aviva. There we go. There we go. Y'all want it crazy. If y'all want a crazy show, that's what you're gonna get. You're gonna get insane. You're gonna get crazy. I don't know who's the lead in that. We gotta throw Dorinda in there. Okay, so we need a lead. Dorinda would be the lead, right? Dorinda. Okay, so Camille Denise, Monica Marlowe, Lisa Wu, Aviva, Dorinda, and I missed somebody. Who else? I missed somebody. I'm trying to think of some people that's got some spunk about them too. Like that's got a little bit of that star quality to them. Somebody, and the request was somebody asked me about unhinged ex-housewives. So that's the question that I'm answering. Unhinged. And Marlo can kind of give you unhinged. I would like Katie if she's up for it. Tammy. Yo, I forgot about Tammy. Why y'all let me forget about Tammy? Yeah, I feel like I can't do Brandy because Brandy has a brand of housewifery that just veers too far left. So I just think that I don't want slapstick. And I feel like that's what she gives. She gives a little slapstick. And by slapstick, I mean like her comedy is physical, which can be hit or miss depending on the group that you have. So I liked her when she was on Beverly Hills, but again, after she slapped Lisa Vanderpump in the face, I just felt like at that point, you gone too far. When she threw the water on Eileen, that was too far. It's just too much. It just be too much. Like we don't need all that. Like, come on. When you throw a glass of water at somebody, it should be a moment that is earned. Like you just pissed me the F off. And you've been coming at me, and now you're gonna get exactly what you deserve. That is when you throw your drink at oh my God, Claudia Jordan. But Claudia is not unhinged to me. Claudia is very much, I think, a focused woman. You know what I'm saying? Like, and not to say call them other women not focused, but I just feel like I don't feel like she's unhinged. Some of these other people that we've named, they're unhinged. Like they're gonna like. They're almost borderline. Like I don't know what you're gonna do. I don't know what you're gonna do, and everybody's a little bit on edge. What might happen next? We don't know. You know, that's the type of energy that I'm talking about, and I think that the question was calling for was unhinged. Like, oh God, what is gonna happen? Oh, we don't really know because Denise Richards definitely when wearing that coat upside down, unhinged behavior, unhinged. Camilla's a little unhinged as well. I mean, but she's a little bit more refined with her unhinged behavior. Monica is definitely a wild card because we don't really know what she's going to say or do or bring to the table. I prefer also, I think that Marlo to me can be unhinged a little bit. Like, I don't mean that and this is not to call them crazy or nothing like that. They just have this like, everybody's on the edge of their seats. What's going to happen? Like, what they about to do? We don't know. We don't know. We don't know. But I do think that a Dorinda as a lead could rally the people, or she could also become very unhinged herself. And then it all falls down. I would not include Jen Shaw for the simple fact that I just don't think that any of the women would want to work with her. I just don't think she. Oh, Mia. Mia could give you some unhingery. I didn't even think about that. Okay. Mia could give us a little bit of unhinged. I don't know what you're gonna do either. Danielle Staub. Danielle Staub. Danielle Staub. Danielle Staub. Unhinged. 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 Completely. Definitely. Unhinged. Yeah, we got a cast right there. Although it's starting to feel more like House of Villains. Jennifer Aiden is indeed unhinged as well to me. She was not my favorite housewife, but she had everything that is needed for her to be a housewife. So, I mean, I think I would have just preferred if she wasn't so far up, like in Teresa's, like in the crevices of Teresa's um underarms. If she wasn't in the crevices of Teresa's underarms, like if she wasn't like up in, the wrinkle. You know how like you get a little wrinkle in your underarm where your underarm and the meat right here is. There's some meat right here, and then there's your arm, and there's usually a little crease right here, a little bit of a little line. She was tucked up in there, up in Teresa's that crease right there. You see the crease right here? That's where Jennifer Aiden used to reside, and I just didn't like that for her. That's probably where you said it, Leah. I'm not gonna put it on the screen though, but you said it. It's actually on the screen. It's on the screen. Right here. You see the crease right here? Call it what you like. Call it what you like. Why are y'all like this? Not you want a little hip hop drama sliding over into your house. Why? Oh, I don't know why that took me out right there. That just took me out. That took me out. But see, here's the thing. I don't think it will be fight after fight because it's not going to be Bad Girls Club. Sometimes unhinged just means like, Denise, why is your jacket upside down? And we're trying, and Dorit is trying to tell you that it's upside down, but you don't really care for her right in the way she's saying it to you. So you're not gonna turn the jacket from being upside down. You're just gonna stay and keep that jacket. That's what I mean by unhinged. It's not always the people that are gonna be poking and trying to fight the most. It's just gonna be the wives that are really, really quirky to me that the most extreme definition is unhinged, but it could be quirky, it could be unpredictable. It's just that they are so they march to the beat of their own drum. They're not necessarily always conscious of what they're doing. But they are definitely they're not so consumed with looking like a certain type of person, and they're just living in the moment. Even if they think that they are doing something different, they're completely not. I'm sure Denise thought she was killing it in her upside down fur. I'm sure she did. And she was not going to stand for Dorit trying to tell her anything different. I know I'm going to leave this jacket exactly the way it is. Don't you tell me what to do and how to wear my clothes. Don't you do it. I know what you're trying to do. Oh God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Let me tell you. Mm, mm, mm. You know, Kathy is a little unhinged. I mean, and again, I don't mean this in a bad way. I just mean it in a way that's like, who knows what's about to happen? I don't know. Homeless, not toothless. You know? Yes, this is what I'm talking about. This behavior right here, where it's like, why is that your weave on the table? Like, why are you doing? And it's just because she just tired of the weave. You want that type of see, and if more housewives were just like that, granted, everybody on the show can't be quirky and unhinged. Usually, there's often somebody that's so stiff and buttoned up, but it's the contrast of stiffness and the button up all around that makes for a great show. A great show because the stiff person, it's like comedy works best. They call it like it's like the funny guy and the straight man. Straight man, not meaning like straight, like in sexuality, straight. It's just the like the straight man, meaning like the person that's stiff, buttoned up, that does not is not funny. So when you put that person and the funny person together, it's chaos because you have these two dynamic personalities that are trying to figure out how they work with each other, and what results is funny. You might be right. You might be right about this. You might definitely be right. You might be right about that. Now, how y'all throw Apollo and Peter Thomas up in here? Yes, that's a good way to describe it. The serious person with the goofy, non-serious best friend who makes their life eventful. That is the basis for a lot of comedy that you see. So, like when you put a Kevin Hart in a movie with like with like The Rock or something like that, usually one of those people is playing the serious person, and then one of those people is playing like the non-serious sidekick or cohort, and now they've got to work together to get something done. You see a lot of movies specifically with Kevin Hart with that type of theme. Oh yeah, Mary is current, so we're looking at past people. My bad. Not y'all saying. Not y'all talking. Oh Lord, y'all crazy. Y'all are crazy. Hold on, y'all. Stand by. Let me see if there's anything else that came out. I just want to be on the before, because y'all know the news be popping fast, quick fast. Okay, no, I think we're good. I think we're good on news. Yeah, we're good. Okay. Yeah, so listen, y'all, thank you so much for tuning in, tapping in today. If you haven't already, like I said, go ahead and get your tickets to the live podcast with me, myself, Monique Samuels, the Tylers from Love and Marriage DC Also the Duncans from Love and Marriage DC, and you can hear Sherelle Duncan every morning on WPGC. Y'all, WPGC 95.5 is our official sponsor. This is going to be held at the Bethesda Theater. We got DJ, we got brunch, we got books, merch, all that kind of stuff like that. So come out and meet with us. We're going to be playing some games. We got some tea to spill. And we're really going to be having some good conversations that I really think that you guys should be a part of. So hopefully you guys, if you are in the DMV area, if you are in Philly, if you are in West Virginia, if you are in North Carolina, New York, Delaware, Maryland, Virginia, the DC area, this is for you. We want to see you in person, in the flesh, out there with us. And y'all, of course, we will have merchandise and books and all that kind of stuff like that for you guys as well. For those of you guys who want to take something home, we got you. And you might just get your chance to also be on the radio with WPGC 95.5 in the building, broadcasting live, my people, broadcasting live. Also, too, we talked about this a lot on the other video from this past week. We have the Creator Starter Kit. If you are somebody who has been looking to get into content, if you have been looking to start your content creation journey, listen, I put down everything that you need to get started. A lot of people have questions about like, what equipment do you need? What do you need to get started? I'll break it all down for you. And I basically give you the play-by-play of what we did with one of my clients who went from not making any video content, y'all. She went from not making any video content to having a video that made her $7,000 and she only did 30 minutes of work. That video is still continuing to generate revenue for her to this day. So if you have a business, if you are somebody who has just been thinking about putting your business online, and I don't mean your personal business, I mean the business that pays you, okay? The business that makes you money, the business that is going to bring in revenue, that is going to replace your 9 to 5. You guys can tune into this. If you missed our 3-hour live that we did on Sunday, y'all, you will know that I gave you play-by-play on what you can do to start your journey now, monetize your channel as soon as you start it, right? We're not going to wait until we reach the monetization status for YouTube. We're not going to wait until we get those 4,000 watch hours. We're not going to wait until we get those 1,000 subscribers. We're going to start monetizing from day one. So we talk about that process. And then you will also get this 2-hour strategy session that I go through with my client, Karen Flowers. She is a trichologist, and we literally break everything down from what she did. We look at her analytics. You will see them on the screen. You will see and hear exactly what she did and what we basically crafted for her in terms of an action plan so that she can really, really break this thing down. And now, y'all, let me tell you what she's doing. She has sold her salons. She is now simply the entrepreneur that coaches other men and women on how to grow their natural hair. And she sells her natural hair care products. So you get to see that entire journey. We did 2 sessions together. 2 sessions. And if you were in the chat, if you were on the live from Sunday, please chime in the chat and let the people know what they missed out on. That video will stay up. I'm not taking it down. It was the Love and Marriage Huntsville recap and review, where I broke down literally everything. And I took people who had their own questions and their own examples of what they wanted to do. And I broke down what I would do if I were them to start their content creation journey today, right? We broke it all down. Like, I didn't leave any stone unturned. I give free advice because I want you guys to win and succeed. I know how hard it is out there for people to succeed. And I want you to be able to step into this digital landscape. And I want you to be able to do the same things. At some point in time, I'm going to get to the point where I am simply just teaching, or I am simply doing just adjunct professor, or I'm just doing clients. And so I want people to understand that this is something that you can do. and you can leverage content to get the life that you want to get. So if you have been the type of person that has been saying, I am so afraid of, people hearing my voice. I don't like the sound of my voice. I don't like the way I look on camera. We talk about ways that you can do this without showing your face. If you are the type of person that says, I've had this idea in my mind, I've really been wanting to do it for such a long time, but I'm afraid of what my family or what my friends will think. I'm afraid of people judging me. I'm afraid that they'll think that, I don't have the capabilities or the credentials to do what it is that I want to do. I'm afraid they're going to talk about me. Then we talk all about that mindset that you need to let go of. Especially, we talked about it in that video from Sunday. So please do tap into that if you missed it. It's literally 3.5 hours, and it was nothing but game, nothing but value. Because at the end of the day, y'all, it's hard out there for people. It's hard out there. And so oftentimes there's just simply a little bit of a roadblock between where you are right now and where it is that that you could be. And that gap in between where you are and where you want to be is usually just this element of fear, uncertainty, and imposter syndrome. You don't think that you're ready because you're not used to leveling up in that way and stretching yourself beyond what you thought was possible. And so, what I want to encourage you to do today is just simply take a step back and think about where you want to be this time next month, this time next year, this time in 5 years. And I want you to ask yourself, is this little thing right here worth you not being at that place where you are traveling like you want, where you are living like you want, where you own your own time, where you don't have to ask your boss for time off? If you need to take time off to go and do something for your parents, if you need to take time off to be with your kids when they're sick, if you need to take time off just for a vacation, you don't have to ask for that time, because now you are buying your time back because you have your own products and services that you are actually posting about online and generating revenue. Even if this is not something that you use to replace your 9 to 5, but you are supplementing your 9 to 5, honestly, you can then also start. So that's the goal, is to give you the play by play. I'm also going to be adding some additional, about 1 or 2 additional videos in there that will give you also additional action plans to take. I will spell them out for you. These are based on things that I've done in my own client sessions with some of my own clients, but they're tailored specifically for that particular client. Now, you can book a one-on-one too, but you can also start here. And the the cost for this is less than the cost of dinner. I did not want this to be expensive because I wanted you to be able to have access to information that can help you, that you can act on today. And I want to also shout out my client, Karen, for allowing us into her back office to show you guys, what her YouTube analytics look like for this particular video, because it's so important that people can see that it's possible, right? It's possible with the level of energy and effort that she put into this. So I want you to see what is out there for you, and because before, she would not have ever thought that she could do that. She did not think that that was possible. She didn't know it was possible. She didn't know that this work that she spent 15 minutes recording a video. She spent 15 minutes recording a video with her iPhone. And it took her 15 minutes to post that video and do all of the things behind the scenes. And the next thing you know, that video is exploding. And now she's getting sales from her products, and now she's getting ad revenue, and that video continues to grow to this day. I think at this point in time, that video has about 900,000 views on it. And that's not even counting all of the countless other videos that she is doing. Those videos stack up. When you're doing content, whether it's on YouTube or TikTok, or Instagram, what I want you to understand is that video content it's going to stack up and it's going to grow and it's going to multiply all on its own. So the things that the things that you have in your head and the things that you want to put out into the world, you can do it whether you want to show your face or not. That's all I want to show you, right? Um A. Duggar says, I was her, hated my voice. I prayed on camera and had the most engagement ever. Y'all, let's dissect what she just said. I was her. I hated my voice. She did not like the sound of her voice, y'all. To be honest with you, I've never completely been comfortable with the sound of mine. But 3,000, well, actually, not even counting other platforms like Facebook. And so I know 3,000 videos that I've done on YouTube, not even mentioning how many things that I've done outside of that. So we could say maybe, 4,000 videos that I've done in the course of these past 6 years. And I'm not really like my voice, but I'm not also really cared that I didn't like my voice. Because at the end of the day, I'm doing my job. I'm doing what I want to do, right? I'm giving information. I'm trying to give as much value as I can with each video that I put out. So I love that she says I hated my voice, but I prayed on camera and had the most engagement ever. Two things that I want you to notice right there. And actually, three. She did it anyway. That's number one. She didn't let the fact that she didn't like her voice stop her. No, and then on top of that, she prayed. Do you know how vulnerable that is for a lot of people to pray on camera? But then also, too, the blessing beyond the fact that she chose to show up, she had the most engagement ever. Why? Because even though she hated her voice, she did it anyway. She did it and she prayed on camera. That's what she felt like she was led to do. And because she did it, because she had the wherewithal to move beyond her fears, she was able to pray on camera and get the most engagement that she ever had. What happens if she keeps doing that? What happens when she keeps doing that? That's what I want to know. So let's say she does that 7 days this week. That could be extreme, right? She might want to just do it 4. Okay. But let's say she keeps doing that and people keep showing up. So anybody that needed that word of prayer, they know now that they can come get that with her, with you, and now you become their go-to person when they're in that state, right? So because you made the decision to move beyond your fears, you have now helped a ton of other people that you didn't even know needed you. That's what happened. She also says, I was there. Richie gathered us, empowered us, and challenged us to just start. That's far and beyond anything that I could just simply say is just start. So many people are stuck where they are because they just refuse to start. Even if you listen, if nothing else resonates with you today, it is eliminate that barrier of fear. And I don't want to say eliminate it because fear sometimes can push us into greatness. So I do want to say walk through the fear. Walk through it. Walk through it because that is how you get to this new place, this elevated place, this place where honestly, y'all, like when I tell you it's eye-opening how many of us have been stuck in the sunken place because of all of these fears of what somebody's going to think or what they're going to say about us. Let them say or think whatever they want to think. You're not for them. You are for somebody else, right? And those people that are judging you and they're critiquing you, 9 times out of 10, y'all, they don't even care. 9 times out of 10, you care more than they care. 9 times out of 10, you care way, way, way more than they care. And if they do and they are judging you, y'all know what? Y'all know what millionaires aren't doing? 9 times out of 10, millionaires are not sitting around judging people. So take that for what you will. They're not sitting around judging people. They are out there doing and creating and coming up with ideas and finding people to execute those things for them. So that's why you want to go ahead and be in position to start because those who are doing don't really have time to be dealing with people who are downing, right? Because you're too busy doing. Thank you. Yes, it was. That video was an extreme boost. It has me ready to step out. Amen. That's what I'm talking about. Key stays splash and says, I am the hate my voice person. My voice is deep, so people call me sir when they can't see my face. Okay. I mean, I say let them. Let them do that. Let them. But they heard you. That right there is that's the word right there. They heard you though. They heard you. They heard you. And at that point, they're going to keep hearing you. Because at the end of the day, your voice and what you're saying and the energy that you're putting out there is what is going to resonate. You got to move past that. Let them think what they want to think because you're attracting the audience that you want. You are attracting the people that you want, right? So you keep speaking and that's it. That's all you got to worry about. What everybody else thinks is actually irrelevant. What you do know is that they're getting that information that you gave them. They're going to be wiser because they left your presence and they've heard you. So for me, I just feel like the blessing is to be heard. The package that you thought it was supposed to come in, nah. You speak the exact way you're supposed to. If you got some bass in your voice, that's good because now it's gonna carry over top of the noise. That's what you want. That's what you want, in my opinion. Like you want to be the person that's being heard. And yeah, it's loud, it's deep. I got all that. I got the bass in it too. That's to let you know how serious I am about what I'm saying. You either gonna feel me or you not. And we leave it there because as much as you might want for those people that you're talking to, you can't want it more than they want it for themselves. So as much as I might want you to take action, despite whatever I think about my voice, I'm still going to tell you, all right? I'm still going to walk through whatever mental blocks I might have had, but I'm still going to tell you, despite the fact that today my voice might be a little bit raspy, I might be a little bit hoarse, I might not prefer the sound of my voice, but it doesn't really matter because my message is the same. I'm still going to give you information. I'm still going to employ you to start. And at the end of the day, those who hear me are going to start and they're going to start however they can, right? Whether or not you tap into the starter kit is yeah, it's great if you do. It's a tool there to help you and keep you inspired. And it's there to give you instruction and strategy and give you the how so that you can get there faster. But regardless, at the end of the day, you starting is what really creates the blessings. See, at the end of the day, what happened was A. Duggar started, and thus she empowered. She was empowered, and thus she started. And then here's the thing: the next thing that happened was she got the most engagement that she had ever had. Chad Villain says that's beautiful that you're a woman because it brings shock value when they see that you're a woman. Amen. That's what I'm talking about. See, now you're getting into some other power, some deeper level power where you are leveraging your gifts, right? You're leveraging the things that are unique about you. And that is actually the thing that really sets you apart in business, to be honest with you. In business, online, whatever it may be, it's going to set you apart. So I love that Chad Villain said that because now you know that I'm going to lean into the bass that's in my voice because I'm going to be heard from the mountaintops. I'm going to be heard despite what it is that whatever obstacles I might be faced, I'm still going to be heard despite all the noise that there is on the internet. Thank God don't nobody else sound like me. Angela says, I also think she should realize that they mean no harm and recognize who you are. God gave you that voice. Use it for good. Don't worry about anybody else. And that's another thing too, right? They probably don't mean any harm. They hear something, it's a verbal cue that they've been a pattern that they've been accustomed to. This type of voice sounds this type of way. It's usually going to be, it's usually going to sound like it's usually that might be a man. And then they see you and they're like, "Oh, snap. Okay, cool. I've been listening and I had one thought and now I'm thinking another thought." There wasn't any harm or malice in that. That was just them working with a pattern that they've become accustomed to. Shake the table. Shake the table. Shake the table on them. Key says, "Thank you for real. I definitely needed this." You're welcome. Lord Flawless says, "Good morning, doctor." What is your complete workflow and what editing cross posting tools do you use? All right. So for me, I do a lot of video content in StreamYard because I can do real time editing, meaning that I can switch between, graphics and video and stuff like that with the greatest of ease. Some people like Riverside, some people like OPM. I am more familiar with StreamYard because I've been using it for such a long time. So I use that. If I want to have something that sounds super crisp, and when I do like voiceovers for the reading of my book, which I do put on my Substack, then I will use Descript because that is it will clean up the audio in a way that it sounds really, really crisp, really, really clean. And you can also do some fun stuff with video editing in Descript. When I'm editing on my phone, I use CapCut. So when I'm editing for sponsored videos or anything like that, I will use CapCut to do my final edits because it's just very easy. It's user friendly. I've been using it for a long time. So I use that for editing and I will upload directly from my phone if I've edited it in CapCut. I use that a lot for also social media posts. Cross posting, if I were going to be cross posting stuff, I don't do a ton of cross posting, but if I do, I would use repurpose.io. Repurpose.io will help you cross post amongst like across basically every platform that you can think of. The cool thing about StreamYard is it allows me to automatically stream this live on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitch, um, on a variety of platforms. So you have that option as well. So you can literally, like I'm live right now, so I'm streaming to Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. So StreamYard does have some capabilities of cross posting as well. So it just depends on how you want to use it. Desiree Johnson says, "I miss being able to see the comments. Really, I have the comments on the screen, so hopefully you can see them." Do you have any other questions about the Creator Starter Kit? And listen, it's only 47. So again, that's less than the cost of dinner. It's there for you. It's a resource for you to use. Um, it is a great place to get started in terms of giving you a deeper level look at what the analytics can look like and the strategies that someone actually has used to get to that point where they have generated that level of ad revenue for a video, as well as how to monetize. And I take you through my journey too. So I give you everything. It's like about it's a good amount of information in the ebook as well that will walk you through exactly what it is. I might also put for those of you guys that are, I might also put some affiliate. I'll put some affiliate programs in there that I love. So that'll go up in there as well by the end of this week. So you guys will have that information as well. So that if you don't want to, and I'll give you I'll give you plays to use on different social media platforms so that you can monetize your video content. And again, listen, it's just this is a resource for you to get from point A to point B, hopefully a lot faster. And I love that you will be able to see someone who has done it and not just me, right? Not just me that's done it, but also someone else that I've been able to help do this and to see where she is now. Just because she decided to start, she took action, she started. The link is in the description, but I will also place it in the chat. And it's literally the first link. You guys can have that here. And there's also a video on this page as well. As you can see, you can do a breakthrough strategy. I do have client calls coming up this week for to end the week out, but I think that there's some space still on there. And then, of course, there's also a video here that walks you exactly through what you get in the starter kit as well, so you can view that. But with that being said, y'all, my voice is like, it's getting kind of heavy. So we're about to go ahead and wrap this thing up. If anything else happens, we will be back live, maybe back live later this afternoon if there's some more tea to discuss. But y'all be good out there. Go grab yourself some lunch. Enjoy your day. And of course, I will catch you in the next video.